What's up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlook Industries podcast. It's your host, Trevor Johnson, here in the studio, whipping up another episode for you guys. Today, I have one of my good friends, Cody Jackson, on. He came into the studio. The audio will be crisp for you guys. Hopefully, you'll enjoy this one. I really enjoyed talking to Cody. I always do. We just went to Salt Lake City a little bit ago and had a lot of conversations about ideas that we had and things that we wanted to work on in the future. So we just kind of discuss a lot of those things in this podcast and just talk a lot about, like our aspirations and stuff like that. So this is a cool one for you guys. It'll hopefully inspire you to go out and chase your dreams kind of thing. So, Also, got some prototype shirts. If you're listening on Spotify or somewhere that's not YouTube, go to my Instagram at Outlook_Industries and you'll be able to see them on there. Actually, the video that I posted was on my personal Trevor Johnson _SA. If you go over there, you can see the whole promo video that I made for these shirts. It's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty proud of it. So it'd be cool if you guys went over there. Other than that, thank you guys for joining me again, and let's get right into the podcast.
It's the Outlook Podcast. We're here at the Outlook Podcast. We're here. We're talking to cool people.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Outlook Industries Podcast. I'm here today with Cody Jackson, or Kojak, also known as Kojak.
What's up?
How's it going, Cody? Thanks for coming by. Thanks for the coffee, by the way.
Yeah, dude, no, this new coffee you told me to try out is pretty freaking good, dude.
The creamy coconut Nirvanas from Dunbros are literally to die for. If you're in, I don't even know where these are, in South Dakota. I think they're literally rapid. But, I just kind of want to talk about your TikTok, first off. So, like, how you kind of got it started, why you started it, and how you grew.
Yeah, no, so basically what happened was I had just gotten back from a BMX trip to Denver, and I realized that I was just super bored with all the COVID restrictions. Like, nothing was open. So I just decided that I was going to start posting my BMX clips on TikTok, and once I started doing that, it just kind of started flowing a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, so I started getting that going, and then I realized, like, hey, I actually have quite a few people trying to watch me do this, so it went from being a joke to, like, a little bit more serious.
To like, oh crap, like, people are actually watching this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, man, people actually want to watch my stuff, so yeah, no, I started doing that, started blowing up just a little bit, and then out of nowhere, just went through the roof.
Yeah, sweet.
Now we're just only up from here.
Right? You do a lot of different videos, but mainly what I've seen that has kind of blown up is your, like, when you play the video game and then you go and do it. How did you come up with that idea in the first place?
So it was actually a fan's idea. So I was just going through some of my videos, and, like, I was doing these dumb little videos that people liked where it was like, if I land this trick within 5 tries, then you'll have 5 minutes of good luck or something like that.
Yeah.
And some kid commented, like, do you play BMX pipe? It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I play that. And he's like, you should try doing a trick in the game and then do it in real life. And I was like, oh, that's
cool.
actually genius. So I started doing that, and the first one I posted, it didn't do very well at first.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh man, I don't know how I feel about this. And then, like, 2 days later, dude, it just blew up. It got like 130,000 views on it and like 12,000 likes. And I was like, oh,
okay.
let's keep doing these.
Yeah.
People love these. And so when I was just rolling with that, I just started busting more out.
Yeah.
And the growth from that point in time that I was making those videos was absolutely astonishing. It made no sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, no, started doing those a little bit, but I mean, you can only do so many tricks in video games before you start running out of them, dude.
Yeah, that's so true.
But
Well, now you can start doing backflips.
Right? Exactly. No, that's probably going to be the next one that I do, honestly.
What video stands out to you as like one of your favorites that you filmed?
Oh, man.
Maybe
dude.
not the most popular, but just one that really like you enjoyed.
Oh, probably one of the most recent ones, dude.
Yeah.
When we were at Woodward,
Yeah.
and it was the first day that we were working on the resi for me doing backflips,
Yep.
and just the hype surrounding that video
That was crazy.
so insane. Like the amount of kids that were just sitting there like screaming at us and stuff, like to land it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, dude, this is probably one of the most hype moments
Yeah.
I've had
Ever.
in my entire
Yeah.
time riding BMX.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of segues into like how like we both just kind of learned backflips or like got them kind of like so that we could take them out of foam and resin.
Right.
So how was your mental battle learning that trick, and how long have you been thinking about that trick, and just like where's like the mental game for people who are trying to learn that trick?
Oh man, dude, I've been battling that trick since I was probably like 10. One of the first times I ever realized that I wanted to do a backflip
Yeah.
was when I was at the skate park. I was like 10 years old, and there was this guy that just happened to show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It didn't even have a warm-up.
Yeah.
He just rolled into the park just hauling. And this guy pulls a backflip out of our bowl. And
Yeah.
I just sat there like, dude,
Yeah. Did that just happen?
I got to do that
Yeah.
someday. And so from that point on, I was just I was always thinking about it, never really had a place to try them.
Yeah.
And then a few years ago, my buddy Brad, he happened to have a foam pit built up out of it at his parents' place.
Yeah.
And so basically, I used to dirt jump back then.
Yeah.
And so I brought my dirt jumper out there, started practicing backflips, but I was always so scared of them, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
the risk to reward ratio to me was just like so out of reach. It
Yeah.
didn't make any
Uh-huh.
sense. And I kept just busting myself every time
Yep.
I'd get a backflip around. So I tried them like 3-4 times there before I hurt myself like pretty bad. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to do this for a while.
Yep.
But then after that, like once we went on that Salt Lake City
Yep.
trip, it just kind of opened up a whole new level.
Well, it's crazy, those facilities, those like action
Right,
sports facilities. It's so much better to learn there. Like I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the atmosphere, maybe it's just the facility in general, but it's just like you just learn stuff way faster.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, look at what we did. We
Yeah.
showed up there the first day. We both had them locked down into foam within
Yeah.
the first hour.
Yeah.
To the point where I was ready to throw it to Resi right off the bat.
Yeah.
But as soon as I was about to roll over to the Resi, the guy's like, "Oh, dude, your session's over. You can't do this." So I had to sleep on that
Yeah.
night, and that was probably the worst. The worst night of the entire trip
Yeah.
because I was literally up until 2 a.m, just like looking up and down and like
Yeah.
pulling my neck up and like trying to imagine myself doing a backflip.
Yeah.
But we got it done.
Yeah,
so.
we got it done. Oh, we had to. And the first time you did it to, I guess it would be wood, because KTR was the first time you did it outside of Resi, right?
Right, exactly.
How was that?
Oh, dude, that was so. I knew for a fact right before we got there, I wasn't gonna leave the place until I landed it.
Yeah.
and I told you in the car
Yeah.
too. I was like, either I'm gonna go there and land this backflip, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave on like a stretcher or something.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I was literally to that point where I had to do
pull
this.
it. Yeah.
And so when I pulled the first one, and I'm sure you remember,
Yeah.
but like, so I remember coming over the first jump, and I was like, oh man, I kind of overshot that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I go for the second one, and I pull a trick, and it's like, oh, I landed a little bit more deep on that one too.
Yeah.
And we go for the third jump, and my foot slips off the pedal. So mid-air, I'm like trying to put my foot back on the pedal. If you watch the video on my TikTok, you can kind of see my foot literally like spazzing out, like trying to find the pedal.
Yeah.
And as soon as my wheels hit the ground, I was like, I gotta flip. I gotta do this either way, dude. I gotta get the first one out of the way. And I go to pull it, and I did not pull hard enough. Somehow my bike bounces 5 feet back behind me, and I'm crawling on my knees, like
Straight
praying,
to hands and knees. Yep.
praying that I'd actually lived through that.
You pull and you're like, oh, I just killed myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. where all did you grow up? You grew up here, right?
Yep. So I was born and raised here in Rapid City.
Okay.
But then after first grade, my parents moved out to Box Elder. They got some land just outside of Box Elder, transferred me to Douglas.
Right.
And that's kind of where the BMX, like, really started.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I've always been super interested in action sports. Like, I grew up with my dad, like, pulling me out of bed in the morning to watch the X Games and watch, like, Supercross and stuff. Which is stuff that he had never done before.
Oh, really?
But he was actually, like, super interested in it.
Yeah.
So, we would wake up, watch that stuff. But in second grade, I remember coming home with, like, 3 pieces of paper. So I had one, and they were all for sports. So I came home with one for spring soccer, one for wrestling, and one for BMX. And my parents told me I could pick 2 of them. And so I ended up picking wrestling, and I picked BMX. And within the next few days, my parents took me out to the track to, like, watch people practice.
Yeah.
I was hooked from there, dude.
So you started BMX racing?
Yep, started BMX racing and did that until I was really active with it until I was probably 17, 18.
Yeah.
And then I raced a couple times until I was 20. And then after that, it was just like I really like doing tricks a lot.
So
more.
when did you switch into, like, freestyle?
So freestyle, I kind of started switching into that back when I was probably 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I started doing tricks on the bigger jumps at the BMX track, and I started getting in a lot of trouble for it. Like, my dad's biggest thing is like, Cody, you need to keep your wheels on the ground. You're slowing down anytime you try doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Dad, it's fun. Come on, just let me do it.
Back.
Yeah, exactly. And so I started out going to the skate park super young. I didn't really do many tricks until I was like 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
So once I started doing that, I started seeing that I was, like, losing it with BMX racing, like, which was kind of a bummer to me because it was, like, so near and dear to me.
Yep.
But I was like, man, I got to move on, dude. I have bigger things going on right now.
Yeah.
And I started going to the dirt jumps after the skate park with a couple buddies, and then just kind of evolved from there, really.
You were probably around when they kind of, like, started those dirt jumps, right?
Yeah,
So you probably built a bunch of them, didn't you?
Yep, there's a few of them that I helped maintain, like, all the smaller jumps. Like, I was out there digging just about every day of the summer.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, dude. There was a big crew back then.
Uh-huh.
But everybody started just phasing out. Like, all my friends started getting cars.
Yep, that's always happens.
They get their cars and their bike just goes in the shed.
Exactly, and all of a sudden they're just, like, gearheads.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's a select few of us that kind of stuck around, but it's kind of slim pickings now.
Right. You and Brad did a show for a little bit, didn't you? How'd that go?
So, man, the first show that I did was it was like a best trick competition / show.
Oh, gotcha.
And so one of the bigger name riders from around here, Eric Johnson, he showed up out there and he was, like, putting on this best trick. And at the time, I didn't really have anything. I had, like, X-ups and, like, 1-footers, no-footers and stuff. But it wasn't anything, like, super crazy.
Yeah.
But after that, and I started riding with Brad more.
Yeah.
Like, we did a show at the Civic Center for the Lakota Nation Invitational Basketball Tournament.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another show that we did was it was at the it was like a Sturgis cross country bike race.
Oh, okay,
and we were actually doing a show with a guy named Joey Cordova, who happens to be, like, one of the top, like, how would you say it? Like, all around riders in the entire world. His brother, man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Other Cordova, he's won, like, Vans Pro Cups and stuff. Like, this guy this guy is nuts. So we were able to ride with this guy in his show on this big box jump.
Yeah.
And that was kind of really where it was like, oh man, like
Yeah.
you could actually have some fun with this, and people like watching it too. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we
of
did a
course.
couple more shows after that, but ever since then it's kind of dwindled out just
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, of course. We're both looking at being in this Deadwood All In show that I talked with James about.
Right.
You did it last year. How was that experience, and what are you looking for this year?
So I didn't do it last year, actually.
Oh, okay.
So there's always been plans. There's
Okay.
always been plans of BMX being in the show, but we could never get anything really figured out.
Oh,
There
gotcha.
was one point in time where James and I were like messing around, like, hey man, we could probably tow you in or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, going 25 miles per hour, holding on one hand with
Yeah.
a bike. I mean, who knows what could happen there, dude? That's a disaster.
That's sketchy, dude.
Yeah, it was all
Into
fun
a-
and games, but
Motocross jump.
yeah, dude, thinking about it, it was like, dude, that would be so crazy. I mean, definitely, people can definitely do that stuff. but
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I think this year we're actually going to be able to do it, which is super exciting.
Right.
Do you have any tricks that you're thinking of pulling out?
So definitely backflips,
Well, of
for
course.
sure.
Yep.
Yep. So that's a big one. There's a few of them that I have in mind.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get back to the resi or the foam pit,
Yep.
just so I can kind of get a feel for them a little bit more.
Yeah.
I have a couple flip combinations that I know I have under the belt.
Yep.
I just need to
You just
need
pull
to
'em out.
find a
Yeah.
place to pull them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I feel the same way.
But yeah, no, Superman seat grabs, getting those pretty locked down. So just going from there. Any extension trick I can really think of.
Yeah.
Rotational tricks, like those things are so much fun, but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have a lot better time like throwing extension tricks in a show
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
than
true.
like the rotational stuff. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it's all fun and games. Like with us, like you and I, for example, like we love doing rotational tricks, but
Yeah.
there's a whole different feeling whenever you're doing like that full extension trick.
Yeah. That's
Oh
so
my
true.
god!
On a
dude.
big jump too, where you can actually extend it.
Exactly. Like, and people go wild for that stuff.
Yeah. Why don't you just do it upside down?
Right, exactly. Don't give them any ideas, man.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's talk about Team Full Send and how you kind of got that started.
Okay. Yeah, so back when I was riding with Brad, we had this compound set up. We called it the compound at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so we called it the compound at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, we need to come up with a name for this place.
Yeah.
And I had already been working on like this little idea of like Team Full Send. I didn't have a logo created or
Yeah.
anything. I just thought it was like, it seemed like a super cool name, and it kind of went along with everything that we had going on.
Yeah.
And I kind of brought it up to him. I was like, dude, let's call it the Full Send compound. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be pretty sick. Everybody's going pretty hard here.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, that's actually a good idea. Like, we should come up with a logo for it.
Yeah.
And I remember us all going to, we had like a little meeting at a McDonald's,
Yeah.
and just to like show logo ideas and stuff. And like
Yeah.
a couple of them, like Riley and Brad, they happened to pull up this logo that they must have made on their phone or something.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, I mean, it's a cool logo and everything, but I don't think it fits the aesthetic of what
Yep.
we're trying to go for.
Yep.
And so that night I went home to the drawing board, and this is like 3 years ago. And I worked on this logo, like iterations of a logo for like, it had to have been like 6 hours.
Did you
Until, like-
hand draw it?
So I started doing hand drawings of it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I think I could do this with like Illustrator and just kind of
Yeah.
use a paintbrush
Oh, okay.
and make it look like
Yeah.
I actually drew it. And I got something finally figured out, and I was like, dude, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this could be on a t-shirt. This could be on like a poster.
Yeah.
This could be all over the place. And from that point on, we just kind of used it as like an Instagram logo, so to speak. So like
Yeah.
any post we created, we would throw that little logo on there.
Oh, gotcha.
But so this is back when it was like just Full Send.
Yeah.
Just Full Send at the time. Then we started doing a couple shows, and I was like, we could just be Team Full Send, and then just kind of work it from there. So I made another version of the logo, just adding the team into it.
On top, yeah.
And like, we didn't really do much with it. So after we were done with the shows, it just kind of died out, and it was just a logo just sitting in my portfolio.
Yep.
Just off to the side.
Yeah.
But then after this TikTok stuff started up, and I was getting comments like every day, like, when are you gonna have merch, man? I want to buy some t-shirts or something. And it's like, I don't know what I got.
Yeah.
Like, and then out of nowhere, I was like, dude, this is my chance to actually turn Team Full Send into something.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I started creating t-shirts with it, and people have been loving them. Like, they've been just flying off the online shelves like nothing, dude.
Yeah. That's awesome. How did it go setting up that like e-commerce store and stuff?
So it wasn't that hard. So I use this site called Redbubble.
Okay.
And so it's like a site directed for artists that want to create some sort of merchandise to put their art on.
Okay.
And so you just go in there, you upload your logo, and then you pick your products that you want that logo on. And it's almost like drop shipping. Yeah. So you would just like choose what product you want it on. You make sure it's designed properly, and then the company takes care of the rest.
Nice.
So I mean,
so you get like a couple bucks for every sale or something.
Exactly. So it's like, I didn't really do it to like make a ton of money for,
of course.
For the brand itself. I just wanted to see the logo out there.
Yes.
Like I wanted to be able to see kids like show up to the skate park wearing this stuff.
Yeah.
Or like even just seeing their videos on TikTok, like, hey, I just bought a Full Send sticker or shirt or something. Like, just seeing that was super cool.
Oh, for sure.
So, you don't make a crazy amount of money from it, but it's just the idea that your stuff is actually out there.
It's going to make you grow more.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So it's super sick. I mean, considering it's kind of like branched out all over the world.
Yeah.
So like just recently I had a kid buy like a t-shirt and a sticker from like Great Britain.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a sticker in some skate park or on some kid's scooter or bike, like on the other side of the world. And just that to me
the thought of that is just crazy.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Where do you see Team Full Send going in the future?
So I would like to turn it into like a full-fledged like actual brand instead of just like a merch product.
Okay.
So the plan is to get like so I already have t-shirts and hoodies and stuff that are being printed at a screen printing office right now as we speak.
Yeah.
So the plan is I'll actually be able to shy away from the drop shipping stuff.
Yeah.
And then just have product on hand.
Yeah.
And so I'll be able to set up shop like
have like
at
a
like
brick and
summer
mortar
events. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or just have some stuff that you can set up when you have a tent or do a show or something like that.
Yep.
Awesome. I know you've had some interesting fan interactions off of that. Yeah. Which ones come to mind?
Oh man, dude. So
tell a story.
I think like one of the craziest ones was, so before I was even up to where I'm at like right now, I'm sitting at like 35K. But when I was at like, I want to say it was like 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
I decided one day that I was going to go to the Gillette, Wyoming skate park.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ride there with a couple buddies or whatnot.
Yeah.
And we get out to the skate park, and I had never been there before.
Yeah.
So instead of pulling my bike out right away, I just get out of my car and I just walk up, and I'm like walking around and stuff. And I start noticing all these kids are just like staring at me, dude. Like eyeing me up. And it's like, man, dude, I'm new here,
like,
but you don't.
Wow, they think I'm Adam LZ.
I was like, man, dude, like it's kind of weird. It kind of like made me feel funny, dude. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk away, go back, grab my tripod and my phone and everything and my bike, and I walk up there and I get on my bike and I'm just rolling around, not doing any tricks. I'm just kind of riding my bike around, like trying to get a feel for the place.
Yeah.
And right before I'm about to drop in for like my first little trick, I have like 3 scooter kids roll up right behind me, and they're like, "Hey, what's your name, dude?" And it's like, "I'm Cody." he's like, are you known as Kojak? And it's like, oh my God, yeah. How do you know that?
Yeah, right?
How do you know? And the dude turns around, he like whispers to his friends real quick, and then he turns back around, and he's like, see all these guys back here behind me? Every single one of them follow you on TikTok. And I kind of sat there for a second, and I was like, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
This is crazy.
And so I had like a little meet and greet with him and stuff, and I was chilling with him for a
Yeah.
while. And that's where like my first Scooter Kids Call the Shots video came from.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like a whole bunch of kids that were like, they were too scared to actually approach me because they didn't know if I was Adam LZ or
Kojak.
or Kojak. And so like did a little video with him and everything, and
Yeah.
it was pretty sick, dude. It was a wild experience.
Yeah, that's crazy. The other one that I heard you talk about was at Mount Rushmore.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude. That one was nuts. So, story about that one. I
Yeah.
had literally, it was my day off from working as a zipline tour guide.
Yeah.
And I wake up at like 9, I think it was like 9:30 in the morning, dude. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I just posted a video last night on TikTok. I might as well go and check it, right?
Yeah.
And I hop on and I notice my notifications are through the roof. Like
Yeah.
they're 99 plus. Like once you get above 100 notifications,
Yeah.
like none of those notifications show up anymore. It's just a 99 plus. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I I go to my profile, and the night before I had gone to sleep with like, I want to say it was like 22,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I wake up with like 25.5 thousand.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh my God, dude, I was planning on doing a video for my 25K like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think I was going to hit it in 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
And I was like, I got to do a video for this like right now. Like this has to go. I'm
10
going to hit
minutes.
I'm going to hit 26K here in the next 12 hours
Yeah,
if I don't
exactly.
do it. And so I'm just sitting there like, dude, I need to go do this video, but I don't know where I'm going to do it. And as I was getting ready, I was like, I need to go up to Mount Rushmore and just do a trick in front of it.
Yeah.
And
Naturally.
and that will be a video. Do well. Like people from South Dakota are going to recognize it and correlate with it.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to have more local fans.
Yeah.
And so I go up there, and while I'm like spotting everything out, like trying to figure out where I'm going to do this at,
Yeah.
I go up to one of the parking people, and I'm like, hey, do you know if it would be okay if I just do like a quick like 30-second clip up here, do a trick for my 25,000 follower like celebration?
Yeah.
And the parking lady's like, yeah, you're going to have to talk to the park rangers. And I was like, oh, shit. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And so I like mope over to the park rangers and stuff, and I'm specifically looking for the nicest one,
Yeah.
the one that's probably the most vulnerable,
Yeah.
so I can kind of take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like I find this super nice girl,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey ma'am, I just hit 25,000 followers on my TikTok. I'm a BMX rider from around here. I just want to do one trick in front of the faces, and I promise I'll be out of your hair.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're going to have to talk to the parking people. And I was like, well, okay.
Okay.
So I go back to the little old lady that I'd talked to before,
Yeah.
and she's like, what? They're the people who run this place. Like,
Yeah.
why are you talking to me? And she's like, you know what? Take as long as you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. And I hope you have a nice day. It's like, all right, sick. I'll
bet.
do it right now.
If they think that you are keeping track of it and you think that they're keeping track of it,
Right.
then I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, I'm kind of standing around, and I start realizing, like, it's a little bit later on in the day, too. So it's probably like 10:30, and if you guys have ever been up to Mount Rushmore, it gets pretty busy around like 10:30 noon
Yeah.
until the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just waiting for a place to clear in this little area where I was going to do this trick.
Yeah.
And it finally cleared out enough that I hurried up, ran out, put up my tripod.
Yeah.
And then once I did that, I set up my phone, put out my bike like in a certain spot where I could like set a timer for the video and then run to the bike and then do the trick again.
Yeah.
And right before I was about to do that, I was like, oh, I need to do an intro for this video. I can't just do a trick. It just wouldn't make any sense. Gotta give it like a little bit more meat in the picture, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get in front of the phone to like start taking the video.
Yeah.
And I just kind of freeze for a second. And I look around and I have people looking at me from like all around. So like they had literally fanned out and made a circle around me almost. And I'm kind of looking around and stuff, and I was like, I don't think I signed up for this. Man. And so I'm like, okay, I just need to start this video.
I'm doing
and
this for 25K followers, and there's 300 people. And I get stage
right, exactly. And I'm like looking around, and it's like, okay, I just need to do this real quick so I could just get on my bike, do the trick, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's not gonna take that long.
Yeah.
And so like the start of the video is like, yo, what's up, guys? It's Kojak. Like,
yeah.
And just as I say that, like, I start hearing people like yell at me like, what's your TikTok?
Yeah.
What's your TikTok? And like I had to step back and take a breath.
Yeah.
And refilm the video because I literally started shaking. I was like, dude, I don't know what to do. I haven't been in a situation like this before.
Yeah.
And so I was like, guys, you gotta chill out. You're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah.
You're scaring me. I'm just a boy, man. I'm nothing special. And so I get the intro done. I end up doing the trick. And once I finish,
yeah,
I start getting approached by people to like take pictures and like all this stuff. And there were two groups of people in particular that kind of stood out to me. One of them literally ran up to me with my TikTok already pulled out, and it was just like a little girl, probably like 13.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've followed you for a long time.
Really?
And I was like, no way, dude. Yeah. Like, you out of all these people, you actually know who I am.
Yeah.
And so I like take pictures with her and stuff, and I'm talking with her family for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm about to leave.
Yeah.
And I see these two guys walking up out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
And they kind of stop and they're looking at me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And one of them walks up to me with their cell phone pulled out and my TikTok up on his cell phone.
Yeah.
And he's like, This you?
Yeah.
Kojak? And I started realizing like these guys can barely speak any English.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's me. He's like, I follow you on TikTok. And I was like, where are you from, man? And he's like, Mexico. Yeah. I was like, no way, dude. We're in South Dakota. Yeah. That's nuts. So I talked to these guys for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. Like, just like they knew just about as much as like Kojak, yes and no and stuff. And I was like, you guys having a good trip? And they're like, yeah. Dude, it was such a cool experience.
That's
like,
awesome.
Out of all those people that were there, like, and just having like 3 people come up to you and actually know who you were. Like that was where like I rode my bike back to my car and I was like, damn, dude, this is actually the real deal.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm actually able to influence people at this point.
Yeah.
Because before I was just kind of like, oh, I'll just post these videos. Like people are following and stuff. And I had like fans, but it was like most of them were from out of state or out of the country. But once you start meeting those people locally, that's where it really changes the game.
Well, it's really weird because you see the numbers like on a screen and you're like, it's just a number and it doesn't really affect you. But when you start going out and people actually like know who you are, that's when it's like this whole nother like realization of like, oh, each one of these numbers is like an actual person that like I could talk to.
Right,
which
exactly.
It's just crazy.
And seeing that's the cool thing about like, I mean, having local followers is super, super sick and local fans, super sick.
Yeah.
But it's also really nice to like get out of state and go and ride and not have anybody know who you are.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, like people aren't afraid to like come up and talk to you.
Exactly.
Like so you're not like, in some people's eyes, they might think of you as like a celebrity when in reality, like I've never thought of myself that way.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid who likes riding my bike and it's my escape from everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So like when people get like super scared to like come up to me and stuff and like actually talk to me, it's like, dude, I promise you, like, I'm not a bad dude. Like,
Yeah, right?
I'm just
Yeah.
like a normal guy. I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
sit here and be like, yeah, I'm like famous on TikTok, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you. You're nothing. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I will literally talk to absolutely anybody about absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care about all this fame stuff.
Well, I feel like that's a lot of people, and for the guys that are listening to this podcast, and like you may be scared to like go up to your idol or whoever it is, they're just a normal person. So just go up and talk to them like a normal person, and you'll be fine. Like, it's probably going to be more awkward if you try to like idolize them and treat them like, oh my god, like, are you a god? Like, just be like, hey dude, like, how's it going? Like, it's just, you got to be casual about it.
Yeah, dude, perfect example with that.
Yeah.
So when this past summer I went to this it was like a BMX festival called Cornhucket out in Nebraska.
Yep.
At the Nowhere compound. And one of the big name BMX riders that showed up there was Austin Augie himself.
Yeah.
Like, and Augie, like, if you guys listening to this podcast know who Augie is and you ever listened or watched his videos, like, he's a big deal in the BMX world.
Yeah.
And so, like, a lot of people idolize this guy, but in reality, he's just like a normal dude, super chill guy. So I'm hanging out with Augie and a few other people,
Yeah.
and there's these two kids that run up to him and he's like, yo, dude, you're Austin Augie, right? And he's like, yeah, man, what's up?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, why are you here? You're like, why are you here? And Augie like cut him off and was like, what do you mean? Why am I here, dude?
Yeah.
I'm a normal guy.
This is a bike thing.
I'm a normal guy. I love riding BMX. Like, I love meeting up with you guys. It's not weird that I'm here.
Yeah.
Literally shut the kid down. And the kid just kind of like sat back and he was like,
Wow.
and he made the situation with Augie like super awkward because Augie's like, dude, yeah, I have fans and stuff, but I'm not a celebrity.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just a normal guy that just happened to like grow a following from doing
Exactly.
normal guy things.
Yeah. From doing crazy things that some people might call insane.
Right.
Insanity, fame, what's the difference, right?
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we should probably talk a little bit right now on the recording. I was going to say on air, but we're not on air. About the show that we're trying to put together and what you kind of like see coming from that, because for sure, like, we're doing like an action sports kind of little like airbag jump show, or we want to, at like schools to inspire some kids and stuff. So what do you kind of see coming from that?
Man, dude, there's so many things that can come from that.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest things with wanting to do that is
Yeah.
the fact that I want to be able to inspire the younger generation of riders,
Yeah.
or kids that want to become riders in either scootering
Yeah.
or BMX. Like, I want them to actually be able to see, like, hey, there is a possibility of me being able to do this.
Yeah.
And like, just the thought of being able to do that for some kids is my main inspiration for doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of how I am too. It's like these everybody can kind of trace back that first moment when they're like, I want to do that sport or that thing. And a lot of time it is kind of like those local shows or those or sometimes it's X Games, or sometimes their dad took them to the skate park and there was just happened to be somebody who's really good there that they got inspired by and talked to or something like that.
Right.
So I just would love to be kind of that light for some kids around here, because the skate community really needs it in this area for sure.
Oh, so. Man, and that's the sad thing too, is it's kind of dying out for BMX on my side.
Yes.
Like, with your side on scootering, like, it's not necessarily dying out. Like, I mean, everybody's getting older, but everybody's getting better.
Yeah.
And it's pulling more riders in.
Yeah, well, the thing about the scooter industry is our oldest rider, grew up riding a scooter, is like 32 years old.
That's crazy.
Like, it's really like a young industry, so it's only known growth.
Right.
Whereas like BMX and skateboarding have been around for a lot longer.
Right,
So they've
right.
like, we'll probably take that path eventually. We're just on the first curve of it.
Right.
So I think that we really need to get more people into just all the action sports. And
Exactly.
I think I want to push like more multi-sport stuff.
It-
Like pick up all of it.
True. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, definitely. Everybody needs to grow a little bit from
Yeah,
it. You know
exactly.
what I mean? But yeah, no, doing these shows, man, like, oh my goodness. Like it just like I was saying, the thought
Yeah.
of just being able to inspire kids to do whatever they want. Like, because you've known me long enough, like, I hate when people say the word can't.
Yes, dude. I was going to talk about that.
That's like one of my biggest pet peeves, dude.
Yep.
Like, I will light you up if I hear you say the word
I can't do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't do that? You're having trouble with that trick, or you haven't figured out the motion yet? Yeah, sure, but I can't do that. That's mindset things.
Yeah,
You can't put yourself in that mindset.
Yep, exactly. So it's like being able to inspire kids by doing these shows.
Yeah.
You'll be able to push the fact that they can actually do something.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
matter if they're a boy or a girl or like tall, short, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
No, it
if you
doesn't.
set your mind to it, you can do absolutely anything you want.
Yeah. And I think that action sports is one of those things it's like a form of expression. It's like art almost
Right.
more than it is a sport.
Exactly.
Because you don't have to be like the craziest like competition rider throwing the biggest flip tricks and the biggest like how many whips you can do above your head in the scooter world. You could literally just come up with a weird quirky trick in a weird spot that just is super creative and people will acknowledge it and you'll get a following from that. Like you just have to be
Right.
creative.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
dude.
kind of that same way in BMX, but it's such a cool tool. Not only has it really helped me with like meeting people and finding friends, because I can go to a skate park anywhere in the world and I could make friends with pretty much anybody there.
Oh,
like,
dude,
right
exactly.
away.
It's a whole entire family.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I mean, there was a point in time in the past where, like, scooters were hated on by the skaters and the BMXers, and the
Yeah.
skaters hated on the BMXers and shit. But now it's like everybody's a family.
Yep.
Everybody wants to see you do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And their energy is going to feed off yours, and your energy is going to feed off theirs.
Yeah.
So the fact that we could literally show up to, like, you and I could literally take a trip to like Texas.
Well,
and
like
show up
when
to
we
House
showed
Park or
up,
something.
when we showed up in Chino, for example.
Oh yeah,
Like right away, I was talking to some scooter guys there. You found some BMX guys there, and we were just like chatting with them and seeing what the community was like, because like everyone's just so open and accepting, and it's just
exactly
super cool.
Yeah, no, it's so neat, dude.
Because to be in the industry in the first place, you kind of have to be a wacko yourself.
Oh
So-
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta be outside the box for sure.
I've always said like, I hope that people think I'm weird, because if I was normal, I'd be boring.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
Yeah,
kinda how I
nobody
think of
wants
it.
to be normal, dude.
Exactly,
Nobody
no.
wants to be normal.
No, don't be normal. Strive to be different. So yeah, just really be creative with your riding is what I express. I like look at what people don't do and try to learn it. Like that's the main thing that I see. It's like I really like riders like Sean William, Sean, something like that. But he's like super creative and just really good that way. And then like I don't know if you know skate at all, but Johnny Geiger.
Okay, yeah.
He is one of the best flatland skaters, and he's just like super creative with his trick selection. And I just think that's really cool. So it's just like all about being creative in my eyes, and like thinking of it as an art. Like you're riding these weird shapes and
Right.
you're figuring out a way to link them together or to do tricks over them. And it's just like you see the world in a different way.
Oh yeah,
in action sports,
exactly.
so-
No, and I was just gonna bring that up too. It's like I can't even drive down like, any street and see something. And it's like, oh, that's a curb over there. That's a bench. It's like, oh man, that's like a 5-stair like handrail without a kink.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't have skate stops.
Right. I know.
Like just random stuff like that. It's like, oh man, what trick can I do over that?
Always thinking about what trick you can do over
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
It's wild. And yeah, that street riding's a whole nother avenue of creativity, because you're given like the worst conditions, and then you're like trying to do
need
tricks
to
in it.
be creative with
Exactly.
street riding.
Yeah, you have
like
to be.
it is one of the most technical like versions of action sports that you can possibly do. Because
Yeah.
you can be a park rider and just show up to the park, and all you have to do is think about which hip you're gonna hit,
Yeah.
or which combo you want to throw off of something.
Yeah.
With street, you actually have to think about it a little bit harder.
Well, it's way more impossible. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's way harder to do a simple trick in the streets than it is to do it on a perfectly made quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why skate parks are a great training tool. But I think all riding should be this is the thing that really bothers me. In scootering, we have street and park, which it's the same
Right.
thing in BMX and in skateboarding.
Yeah.
We're all kind of the same in that way. And it's why? Why do we section ourselves out? Why
Right.
can't we just do it all? Why
Right.
can't we just be BMX riders or scooter riders or this? Why are we going to be oh, he's just a park rider. Oh, or he's just a street rat. And you're it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Just do it all.
No, yeah, just do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just super weird, like you were saying, how we unintentionally segregate ourselves.
I know.
In the sport. So it's
I don't even think it's unintentional. We intentionally
Yeah.
segregate ourselves.
it's you could go ride with this dude, and you could be like, "Hey man, you want to go ride some street?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm a park rider."
Yeah.
Come on, dude, just go do some jibs with me for a little bit. But yeah, dude, no, I really like being well-rounded, everything, because with BMX racing, it kind of helped me start from dirt to concrete, and then I started getting good at that, and it's oh man, I can ride street now, and all this stuff, and you can literally just tie everything together.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things too is I really like doing old school dirt tricks
Yes.
on the street.
Oh yeah.
So Grizz Airs and 360 X ups, just random
yeah.
stuff that you never see. And all that's because I was able to take those tricks from the dirt riders aspect where
Yeah.
I should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
And I was able to morph it into an all around style.
Yeah.
And so it's I kind of like it because it's different. You never really see it anymore.
Yeah. I think the weird thing that's going to happen in these next few years is there's going to be a lot of scooter riders who grew up scootering who switch to other sports, and you're going to get this weird scooter influence.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think it's going to really change the game in how people think about already changes the game in how people think about BMX.
Right.
Nobody would do a nothing front bike flip if it wasn't for our Willie.
Dude, and I was just going to bring that up too. Look at our Willie. He literally went from being one of the craziest scooter riders in the entire world. One of the
Yeah.
most consistent people I have ever seen on a scooter.
Yeah.
And then one day he's I'm going to break some world records on a BMX bike.
Yeah. He's
And
just
then-
you know what? I'm going to get into X Games and I'm going to win it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Doing two tricks that have never been done in competition. on a
yeah,
bike.
exactly. It only took him 2 X Games to actually land it too.
I know.
It's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
That guy is such a nutcase.
I know he is.
I mean, just watching him, it doesn't matter what sport he's doing. I saw him on Instagram the other day on inline skates.
Yeah, I know.
Doing backflip to fakies in a 7-foot bowl.
Yeah, I know.
What? I don't know what he's smoking, but I want some of it, dude.
Right.
That's
No
a whole
kidding.
different level.
He I just want to know how his brain works.
Right?
Because he's from Sam, Sam has ridden with him, and he's not nearly as consistent as his Instagram and his
Really?
feed says he is. He will try the same trick for 4 hours straight. Straight up 400
Wow.
tries on the same trick. He just doesn't give up. He starts it and he says, I'm going to land this before I leave. And then he doesn't leave unless he breaks himself or lands it.
Oh my god.
And he'll be there all day. It's just that commitment. Because he does
so nuts.
he does backflip to nose manny
Yeah.
to fakie, and his web edit 3 is so ahead of the time that people still can't appreciate it for what it is. You watch it and you're oh, he did that, but you go and look at the transition or the skate park he actually did it, and you're there's no way
Right?
that has to be staged. There's no way.
Yeah, dude. No, I remember when he came out to Rapid?
Yep.
When he came out to Rapid City and he was doing some of his tricks out here.
Yeah.
Just watching him, super close, and seeing, some of the stuff he was actually doing.
Yeah.
I was dude, scooter riders are insane. I
Oh, yeah.
don't get why people hate on them so much. Like, we were talking the other day too. It's like, I would never imagine like doing a quad whip on a scooter because just the thought of hitting my ankle with that
Yeah.
scooter is terrifying.
Yeah, I know. It's
So like
crazy.
seeing some of the stuff you guys do with like the overheads and the buttercups and stuff, like that video that you got of Ty the other day doing, I don't know what
the
what that
360 buttercup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was nuts, dude.
Yeah, that
Like,
trick is so much fun. It works way better than you think it does.
Right.
And it looks amazing, and it feels like I hate straight butters and straight bries. Like, I don't know who, like, that kid did I saw a triple straight bri the other day. And I was like, why in the world would you ever want to do that trick? It's just so insane to me that, like, you would even think about that and be able to do the motion. I can't even do two bris. So, like, that blows my mind. But they just don't feel good. Like,
I feel like I would just tomahawk myself right in the head, dude.
oh yeah,
It
well,
wouldn't-
I have never done that, thankfully, but I have had the grip tape rub the top of my helmet
No
several
way,
times.
dude.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It just goes whoosh, and you're like, ah.
just shaving a little bit off the top. huh?
Exactly. My hair's sticking out. And it comes off. Yeah, no, it's awesome, and I like making friends more with like BMXers like yourself and skateboarders and people like that than just sticking to the scooter industry.
Exactly.
Because it totally expands how you think.
Exactly.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
because their creativity could feed off yours too. So
Yeah, because BMXers and skateboarders and scooter riders all think about different features just a little bit differently.
right.
So like there's a lot of influence that you can take from like how people ride skate parks and the lines that people take on different things with wheels on them. That is just like, you're like, oh, like I could do that transfer right there that he just did and connect it to this line that I have. And I just think that that's really cool. And we all just kind of need to work together and be more of a family, because the hate thing just makes no sense to me, because it's just like,
Right.
we're all there for the same reason, to expand, to get better at a sport with wheels on it. Like, go hate on football or something. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
all right, man. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast today. Where do you see yourself in 10 years before we...
In 10
Wake up.
years, dude, probably on my bike still, dude.
Yeah.
If I'm not on my bike, I'll probably be in a wheelchair.
Hey! Right?
Yeah, no, I'm hoping to have Team Full Send completely established
Yep.
by then and
Yeah.
actually have like a full-blown brand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work pretty hard towards that. Hopefully, maybe in the next 10 years, I'll have like my own skate park, be able to have
Yes.
like an
I'm
indoor
going in
park.
on that with you. Yeah,
right?
we're doing that.
Yeah, dude. Even just like our own little training camp. Like, I always thought that would be so cool, just to
Right?
be able to like train the younger generation to become like possible X Games athletes.
Yeah,
and, like,
no kidding.
and stuff like that. So I guess we'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
I have pretty high hopes for it in the future.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, where can we follow you?
So TikTok at Kojak Official,
Nice.
and then Kojak55 on Instagram.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Kojak, again. It's nice to see you like always. And thank you guys for listening to this podcast. If you want to follow Outlook Industries, it's Outlook_Industries on Instagram. And we are on Spotify and YouTube at the moment, trying to get on Apple Music, but I'm stuck in a login loop, so that's fun.
Oh.
But yeah, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.